added Marvel cosmetics into the shop and ended up using a red comic background that was actually in the files for a totally different crossover. One that is going to bring Stone Cold Steve Austin and Liv Morgan to the game. Considering they've literally got the shop almost ready, these two are probably right around the corner from dropping. Now, speaking of Marvel, you've already seen Captain America and Iron Man in the shop, and both of these are taken from their first ever appearances in the MCU. Well, they're not stopping there. We're expecting Fortnite to continue with this trend and give us major Avengers collabs throughout the year, just like Marvel Rivals. It looks like the MCU is doing a crossover of tons of games to bring each iteration of the Avengers movies in the build-up and the new Doomsday film. Obviously, Fortnite's going to be a part of it. We also know from Fortnite's own Rivals leaderboard that the Ice King's POI is going to evolve over time. As the ice melts throughout the season, more of his kingdom will be revealed. And this will include an exclusive vault that needs a key card. The only way to get that card through the final milestone of Act 1, so we're probably a few days out. Now, it's looking like our next Pixar collab is imminent, as leakers have given us new information about the upcoming Toy Story set. Rewinding for a second, at the start of this month, we heard that Buzz Lightyear, Woody, and Zurg will be getting their own skins. But with the new season, we've also learned even more of what's to come. They'll be joined by this mysterious sidekick. I'm also from Mr. Potato Head personally, and they should be in the vehicle, maybe you guessed it, the iconic Pizza Planet truck that shows up in tons of Pixar films. They've even revealed our next big mythic, and they're going back to the basics with this one, bringing back Fortnite's first ever melee weapon, the Infinity Blade. But now, it's got a new design, and it's going to be called the Reforged Infinity Blade, kind of like the Foundation and the Order skins. It first showed up at Solar Peak all those years ago, so personally, I think this will be released as more of the Ice King's castle gets thawed from the ice. The single most popular outfit in the Battle Pass, though, is Bugs Bunny. He looks incredible, and that's why Fortnite decided to lock him behind level 85. You're not going to have to grind for the other Looney Tunes characters coming to the game, because Daffy Duck and Lola Bunny are right around the corner, and of course Daffy has already appeared in tons of trailers already. Plus, we're expecting to see some Looney Tunes themed items when they come to the shop, with previous hints from Epic talking about leveling up the Looney Tunes and some goofy weapons that have made them laugh out loud. And with the James Bond game officially 2 months away, Fortnite's already preparing for their collab, adding an Aston Martin GBS to Season 2's files. Now, say, this has been leaked for literally years at this point. We all kind of got bored of waiting for it, but I promise it's actually happening for real this time, and we'll probably see even more closer to the game's release. Now, I'm more excited for the new weapons about to appear in the loot pool, like the enhanced harpoon gun. And so, see, this is way cooler than you think. It's a mythic dealing 100 damage per hit, which could make it a total game changer. On the other side, the 7 are also cooking up some more weapons in the background, and one of them has flown completely under the radar. Everyone is so focused on the Foundation's rival rewards, they do realize there's a hidden mammoth pistol at the drop, and it's 70. We're not sure how this will show up, or if the return of more damage is going to be it, but I'm excited to find out more. One of the craziest conspiracy theories around Season 2 includes this Battle Pass gift. You see, there were rumors leading up to the new season that was going to be a part of the pack, and people were shocked to learn she was nowhere to be found. And so it caused a lot of fans to wonder if Dasha was supposed to be an item shop skin who was swapped out with Tracer at the last second. And that's because Epic sued a former employee claiming they had put their collab in jeopardy for leaking them. People are terrified, and Overwatch was one of those crossovers that's been delayed because of it. But personally, I still think it's going to happen, especially because they're planning on bringing Genji, Mercy, and D.Va alongside it. Definitely weird that a leak could stop it, but maybe it is true. At least we can breathe a sigh of relief that at least one game has confirmed they're coming to Fortnite. Maybe the second season, not the game for Season Edition, confirming that Cyberpunk 2077 is getting a second wave, and fans are super hyped about it. We already got V and Johnny Silverhand. Who else could arrive? Well, the wording Arasaka's ultimate weapon confirms Adam Smasher is getting an outfit. And fans are desperate to see if Pan Am, Judy, or Solomon Reed will join them. If you've been enjoying the bouncing boomsticks, get ready, because Fortnite has even more things like this in the works. Don't just be dynamite, we're also going to be running away from bouncing stink bombs. There's even a return of the smoke grenade, but not in the way you think. Instead of just being a huge cloud of smoke, these are coming in 2 different versions, and the sprint miss. So, if Fortnite sued a former employee for leaking stuff, it basically confirms everything they said is true, including the fact that Ben 10 is officially making his way to Season 2, and we're waiting to see if they're going to have a transformation mythic or straight up turn into him as a boss. Not worried about this one getting canceled over the leaks, as the same employee exposed regular show, and well, that still ended up happening. Here's where rumors get really weird. Strap in for this. Recently, the official Breaking Bad Twitter account straight up followed someone called Is Breaking Bad in Fortnite Yet? The second this happened, everyone went crazy. They all thought this was actual hope they were going to see Breaking Bad in Fortnite soon. And honestly, we just got Game of Thrones, so I could absolutely see it happening. On the other hand, the Breaking Bad account follows 3,000 people. So I'm going to tell you guys, take it with a pinch of salt. One of the craziest parts about Season 2's launch is how Fortnite surprised everyone with a ton of Star Wars stuff. Out of nowhere, we now have fully customizable lightsabers and a ton of incredible features that are causing some people to remake Battlefront. Now, we can't actually play any of these maps yet because they can't be published until May the 1st, just in time for another giant update on Fortnite for Star Wars Day. We know it's going to be huge, as there are already leaks for an entire pod racing map and rocket racing, but okay, never mind. Kinda reminds me of the time we thought they left Sonic fans in a ditch when the only collab they got was a pair of sneakers. Epic's planning on getting back our trust with Season 2 by giving Sonic the collab he deserves. This will include actual skins, and trust me, if we have to wait a little longer to see Sonic, Knuckles, and Amy as outfits, it is worth it. But Epic has been talking a lot about how Season 2 is going to feel like an entirely new loot pool. And that's because they're secretly working on more than just weapons. They're also bringing new tokens to the game, kind of like we had last season with the Self-Revive and Kenny items. This time around, it is something unheard of. For the first time ever, we'll be able to unlock a 6th inventory slot. This is a straight-up game changer, and will fit right into the medallion part of your inventory, so you truly get all 6 slots to yourself. Considering how many weapons are about to drop in Season 2, you're gonna need the extra space. You'll also need some extra V-Bucks if you want to pick up the next item shop bundle. Fortnite's about to drop an original trio known as Roses and Ruin. This is Rosalind, Aranza, and Sam. I will say people are disappointed this isn't the new version of Hope like everyone thought it would be, but honestly, all 3 of them look really cool on their own. But there are more 100% confirmed collabs dropping in Season 2, with Kingdom Hearts being by far the most popular of the group. This was leaked by the former Epic employee earlier this year, and trust me, when it got revealed, the internet basically got set on fire. And now it's demanded by some of the most passionate fans in the world. But there are other gaming legends that Epic themselves haven't met. Honestly, I was surprised to learn that the creator of Bloons Take a look at this words, something epic is coming soon. Another indie game partnering with Fortnite this season will be Super Meat Boy 3D. The series has been around for a long time, and honestly, he's going to look amazing as a sidekick. I'm just wondering if he'll be reactive and actually get a bunch of bruises and stuff as the match goes on. When it comes to the Icon series, we already know David Beckham is rumored to be coming. Very random, especially when modern athletes like Alyssa Liu are practically begging to be added instead, and Fortnite's even sending her merch to celebrate the gold medals. Another athlete / mainly streamer would be like IShowSpeed. Of course, it came to the game already, but its set was disappointing. Well, Epic knows this, and they're going to right the wrongs with a second wave. Hopefully, we'll actually see some amazing emotes this time around. I mean, Steve's most famous moments happened while playing Fortnite. So what is all of this building to? Where does Fortnite go from here? Usually this time of year we bring us a brand new mini-season like Star Wars or Doctor Doom, so what should you expect? Well, the leaks that have been going around this whole time have said it'll be another Marvel season. But listen to this. It is rumored to be inspired by Joel and the Symbiotes. Now, back in the same leak about Norse mythology and turned out to be false. Fortnite is specifically leaning into the Marvel hype lately, going as far as making Season 2 the entire trailer reference Avengers Doomsday. It is looking like a slam dunk for 2026, all starting with Season 2. Hope you guys enjoyed it. For Tommy, and keep it here on Top 5 Gaming. And broke a bunch of other features. Has largely died down, and plenty of fans have just moved on while waiting. And even technically, the anniversary update has reduced access to mods in the interim. Mods require about double the required space to actually install. Basically, to install a mod, you need double the download size for working space. So if you don't have a bunch of free space available, some mods are just way too big to use now. Not a big deal when you have 100 gigabytes, but a massive issue when you only have 2 gigabytes, because any mods over 500 megabytes are very difficult to get working. User pain is definitely an element, but the best is to get them almost tinted. I think what broadens the disconnect with fans who are experiencing these issues day to day, and many of these fans are still very frustrated. Take that out here, still with Martizzle on the broken Fallout 4 updates.
And so, just to let people know, like, it's a priority for us. Whenever we see that happening, we're always trying to do better. And I think we're in a okay place. Again, a lot of room to grow in terms of when we update our game.
Fuck yeah.
And there's also the world of like script extenders that kind of piggyback on the executable. That's a tricky one too. We try to give them early to sort of prepare for it. But even that's tricky for those groups to do it. But just let people know, we're thinking about that. Right? We're thinking about script extenders when we're doing things and what is the timing. And, you know, we do our absolute best there.
And of course, those are all very good things to say. Todd Howard is acknowledging the issues while recognizing they need to improve going forward. But to me, it's really the gravity or lack thereof that marks the gap. The handling of those Fallout 4 updates were some of the lowest points of Bethesda in my eyes. A lot of things here with Fallout. So the reason update to the game out of nowhere after having nothing for years, break the game with that update, leave it that way for over a year, only to break it again the next year, and it takes several more months to fix is genuinely wild. This is a decade-old game, and it is becoming temporarily less playable for a lot of people after these updates. It happening this many times is clearly a symptom of some kind of underlying problem that needs to be fixed. Not even like this is totally over yet. Some of the updates and content is still awaited on some platforms. PlayStation 4 lost its DLC access for months, and even still, nobody on PlayStation has access to these freely released creations. Although, hopefully this feedback is being heard, and there are very exciting things on the way. Since launch, Bethesda has been releasing free creations for Fallout 4. We've gotten quite a few of these now, and they're all really cool and genuinely nice additions to the game. Several of these are new Vegas themes, some are based around things from the Fallout TV show, but these are new, high-quality, and lore-friendly weapons that add to Fallout 4 totally for free. It really does feel like these are getting dropped for free as a response to some of the pushback over so much of the new content being paid. Yeah, they are on PlayStation just yet. That is supposedly coming still, and whenever that does drop, maybe it's a really cool moment as something is coming to Fallout 4 even still. One thing I can talk a bit about is Fever Dreams. This being the new Nate and Nora creation coming to Fallout 4. We had a small teaser around the anniversary update last year, but I got to see a bit more at my recent studio visit to Bethesda. This is being done by Kingdom Creations. They were hired by Bethesda to make it, and they worked with Bethesda to bring back the original voice actors for Nate and Nora. You know how in all of these Fallout 4 technologies, they have to reuse dialogue to be voiced protagonists? You know, this one doesn't. And Senior are taking full advantage of this opportunity. Like I mentioned before, it's being done by Kingdom Creations.
I did not mean to do that.
Some people to make games Fallout 1 and 2. They have a ton of experience in Fallout 4, and being able to actually get the voice actors back is a massive opportunity for some really epic content. And to be clear, got Nate and Nora back from a funding and access perspective. We got to follow of Fever Dreams at the studio visit, and this looks absolutely awesome.
Fucking God.
I have to imagine that this is going to drop with the mod save state interest, considering that's the only other major thing we're still waiting on for Fallout 4. So again, I am heavily criticizing Bethesda here for their handling of the situation around these updates and even some of the communication with that, but at the same time, I do think that because there is going to be times, like next year, the Fallout 4 has increased mod storage on console, slightly less mods than before, and we've gotten several really cool pre-releases from Bethesda, including what seems like it'll be one of the most unique mod or creation experiences so far with Fever Dreams. I'm not entirely sure how big or small this project will end up being, but it's coming for free, so it's really hard to complain. And we also saw a bit of this on the Starfield side with the recent Trackers Alliance update. This originally dropped for $7 as one mission and some items, and got a ton of pushback. Wasn't worth that money. And we updated it over a year later with 5 additional missions and a bunch of additional items. All of this included in the same exact purchase, so it's just more value for the $7. 6 missions instead of 1. I do hope there's a similar thing happening right now for Fallout 4, but the game actually ends up in a better spot after all of this, actually taking in some of these feedbacks from fans. Bethesda constantly says they're always listening and reading what fans have to say, and while things have been handled somewhat poorly thus far and taking way too long, they're hopeful that we end up in a better time. Because the main focus of a lot of these interviews was Starfield. And many are wondering what's next for that game. This new Freelance update looks really interesting, but it has been 17 months since Shattered Space. I do think it's fair to wonder when the next type of content might be coming, even after all this stuff coming in April. Thinking after the personal gaming, Hardware does confirm more is coming to Starfield.
No, definitely not the end. You know, I think particularly going into our games now, we see how many people play them for so long that, you know, the trick for us is to be developing a new game, like Test 6, while also supporting big audiences we create after Fallout, Starfield, etc. And so, no, definitely not the end for Starfield. We're excited about this release. We've started to work on and plan, so we call it like the next year 3, but that may come in different formats.
I think that quote is actually pretty interesting and even quite a bit telling. It's not Howard mentioned that year 3 might come in different forms for Starfield. The first presentation itself was given by Ken Lam, who seems far more active in the day-to-day development of the game, and he mentioned how the next big piece of content after Terran Armada and Free Lanes wasn't fully mapped out yet, and they kind of want to see the reaction to Free Lanes and Terran Armada first before fully deciding on what's next. Coupling that together with Todd Howard's quote here, I have to imagine the reception to this will have a big influence on Starfield's future, particularly the scope of Starfield's future. If things start to really turn around on Steam, and hey, maybe the game really connects with that PS5 audience, maybe this justifies a much larger next DLC for Starfield. One thing fans have noticed is how Shattered Space is referred to as an expansion, and of course, priced at $30.
You're a dirty, dirty bitch.
Just a DLC, and of course, only $10. This definitely seems much smaller overall, and even Shattered Space is fairly like content lines for $30. I don't personally think it's worth that price tag. So it really seems like this is Bethesda's moment. They have to see what happens with Starfield after they achieve
Fuck.
update released on PS5, as well as another expansion that many players will just get for free. But before Bethesda has that data, it's likely very hard to figure out what exactly year 3 is. And even further, paid mods are likely a major component of this all, and might even be what Todd Howard was referring to with year 3 coming in different forms. These paid mods are most well integrated in the Starfield modding scene. What many people don't realize is Bethesda is partially or fully funding at least some of these. So you have authors or even teams pitching to Bethesda, and then they have the potential to approve more or even encourage larger pitches overall. So Bethesda has the ability, via their modding team, via this verified creator program, to incentivize paid and larger scale content to be produced. So even if Bethesda themselves aren't making a ton of Starfield DLC going forward, they can invest more money in paid creators. And I personally think this is something we're going to start seeing more and more of going forward.
Alright.
Of course, the title many are most curious about right now when it comes to Bethesda is the Elder Scrolls 6. And we actually got a great update, because something recently changed around the Elder Scrolls 6. All the way back in 2016, Todd Howard revealed that they were working on the Elder Scrolls 6 to Jeff Keighley, but said the book wasn't even ready yet.
You know, I have to be careful what I say. It's a very long way off. I could sit here and explain the game to you. And
Let's
you
see
would
what
say,
this looks like.
That sounds like you don't even have the technology. How long is that going to take? And so it's something that is going to take a lot of time, what we have in mind for that game.
And we actually did get an update on this a couple of years later. Back in 2018, Jeff Keighley was back with Todd Howard and asked if the tech was made now.
Getting closer. What is your vision? I'm sure you'll say a lot about it. I mean, what's the type of technology that we're looking to bring to life to be able to make? I don't want to say anything yet. I think the teasers that we put out they're kind of announcing the game and being ones of time.
Yep.
You know, how does the game feel? You know, hints at where it's set for both of them, both Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6.
This is just a layer in many of those Elder Scrolls 6 discussions, wondering what exactly this all meant. What was the tech? More powerful consoles? Are we waiting for the next gen even still? Or was it some kind of new other technology related to...
Ooh, I do like the white.
Maybe even just the engine getting upgraded.
But I also do like the
In
black.
his recent interview, Mortismo Gaming asked Todd Howard once again, is the tech there yet?
No, I mean, that's a very old comment, and it has nothing really to do
Ooh.
with the
Ooh.
availability of hardware. It has to do just with where we're at in time. With our own engine, what we want the games to do. You know, Starfield was clearly a big step, and the basis for Creation Engine 3 that we're working on right now. To do everything we want to do for that game.
So finally, Todd Howard clarified that what he really meant was their engine being in the right spot for their games, and in this case, the engine being in the right spot for their vision of the Elder Scrolls 6. This is from being a vision that Todd Howard has talked
Gotta be a
about
flask.
all the way back a decade ago now. Although the response here does make
There
it
we
seem
go.
like this is no longer a problem. The tech is finally there, and we've also just recently learned that the Elder Scrolls 6 is using Creation Engine 3. Starfield was notable because it was the jump to Creation Engine 2, and Todd Howard even mentioned having difficulties with that engine upgrade. But during this recent studio visit in one of the roundtable Q&As, Todd Howard mentioned how the Creation Engine 3 upgrade was a lot more smooth compared to the CE2 upgrade. Basically, the team learned a lot from what went wrong with Starfield and CE2, so this time around with CE3, things were much better when it came to development and playability. Todd Howard described how they could far more consistently play the Elder Scrolls 6 and test what they were building even as some of the engine upgrades were being done, something that seemingly didn't go nearly as smooth with Starfield. I think for a lot of us, and I know it's true for me, the reveal of Creation Engine 3 was a surprise. But now two things are clear, that the engine upgrade went pretty well. Todd Howard expands on this during his interview with IGN.
That's the one thing I say is really the tech. You know, as we're going to Creation Engine 3, again, the team has done a really incredible job at like not just pushing what it is, but how it's integrated into our development cycle. So you don't feel that what we're doing on a day-to-day basis, like the game goes down. So we're in a fortunate position where that's a game where, you know, the builds are really consistently working every day.
But also that this upgrade was required for something in the Elder Scrolls 6, and it seems like this something is pretty close to the core overall vision. Todd Howard has now said numerous times while referencing this subject that he doesn't want to reveal whatever this thing is because it'll spoil something. Todd Howard says here that Starfield, aka Creation Engine 2, was a big step, but to do everything they wanted in the Elder Scrolls 6, they needed something more in the engine. What could that be? What could Creation Engine 2 do? Speaking with IGN, we did hear this exact question get asked by the interviewer.
I think there are things outside of the rendering that you would expect as it comes to data systems, you know, how our worlds load, how they load content and present things of high detail close to the camera without spoiling it, you know.
I'm
Todd
blind.
does go on to mention how he really can't reveal all of the engine changes without spoiling things, but even that answer is interesting. About a year ago, we got the supposed leak of the Elder Scrolls 6. It's not confirmed or denied, it definitely just could be Skyrim or AI and Skyrim merged together somehow. But the very notable takeaway, of course, is the view distance. You can see insanely far in this leak, and what Todd Howard is saying here with data system improvements, handling how the world loads and persistent high detail objects close to the camera, this really feels to me like it could be a ship travel system where you're moving much faster and in turn loading the world around you much quicker, with insanely high detail environments and cities all around you having to load in. We see this fan map of a potential High Rock and Hammerfell Elder Scrolls game, and you can see just how much scaling potential there is. Now imagine each of these small isles has some kind of handcrafted location to explore, and you can freely travel between them in your ship. While Starfield has the vehicle construction and control system, and even the high detail cities, it doesn't have all of that together. Each major city is divided by a load screen or potentially even several. And Starfield, when flying around, you're only ever coming up to relatively low detail planets. It's not like you're pulling up to a massive city and have to load that in nearly instantly. And I really suspect this could be one of the major engine upgrades in the Elder Scrolls 6, actually having more freeform exploration and transportation via boats, but the older versions of the engine might have just not been able to keep up with that much data streaming to you at once. But there is likely more here. Last month, when speaking to Greg Miller and the Kind of Funny Games cast, Todd Howard talked more broadly about what they're attempting with the Elder Scrolls.
Right back, chat. Don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere. Alright.
Full 6.
You know, we have a style of game that we really, really like that I think people expect from us. And there's a lot of innovation to be done there still, so that when you step into a world, you feel like you're experiencing it really for the first time, a game like that. And I think, you know, we're happy with where it's headed right now. That's what I hear.
My original speculation upon hearing that was something similar to Starfield's music. After the movie, you'll be in a universe with something different, and modify an aspect of that universe that was just changed from other players' experiences. I could totally picture that in Elder Scrolls 6 being applied to factions, or maybe a certain type of NPC, some element of the game that is fundamentally different from one playthrough to the next. And you hear listen to this, both Todd and Morgan speak very highly of this expanded difficulty menu in Starfield. I can imagine we're going to see this expanded even further and included in the Elder Scrolls 6. Them talking about it here, but even further, it also popped up in Doom the Dark Ages, and it was a lot more fun. Having more variables to tweak and change up with the difficulty gives you a lot more potential for making that next PlayStation unique. One of the examples is with Limbo. You of course have the default major difficulty options, but you choose so much about this difficulty. And via this, you can totally change the experience, giving yourself a ton of customizability and replayability right out of the box, just as a command side. But one of the interesting comments we've gotten as of late from Todd Howard is around how much you like shadow drops.
At the end of the day, my preference is to not talk about the stuff. And then, you know, my perfect version is one day it just appears. That probably won't be the case.
This is what many in the Elder Scrolls 6 community is viewing a shadow drop as very possible for the Elder Scrolls 6, but it seems pretty unlikely now. Many are still hopeful for a 2027 release for TES 6, and if that is the case, I imagine we'll be getting that familiar summer showcase reveal to a November release, around 5 months from reveal to release. But if anyone has a Fallout 2 announcement just tomorrow, some rumors about this even recently, but I still think it's probably a ways away. But I think it will almost certainly be a shadow drop. It definitely seems like Bethesda likes it for their smaller projects, but seemingly we aren't getting many more. And in recent interviews, we've heard more and more from Todd Howard how he wishes he could get Bethesda games out faster. Although we've never really heard how. And the person here does ask about that in his interview, even asking if they would consider smaller games in the future, but Todd Howard's response here is pretty notable.
Well, we feel we're going very fast. I get the point on sort of, you know, your big tentpole releases, but look, given our scale, we're doing more than we have more in development, more releases over the last year than we have. And with that, you have to, you know, keep in mind Fallout 76. That's a big thing for us. We're on our 67th update that's coming out, I think. So the amount of things, if you look at like going out the door as far as updates and everything, it's a lot. Again, our trick is with our scale, feeding these massive franchises that people love while building new ones. And so, you know, we always want to be faster about it, but I don't ever want to make that the goal. Maybe you just focus on speed and getting things out. Maybe you don't do your best work. Maybe they're not as good for the audience. And I also feel sometimes there are franchises too where you want them to breathe a little bit.
I think what's said there makes it clear that it doesn't really seem like smaller releases are on the table either, and as far as we've heard publicly, Todd Howard and Bethesda Game Studios are the only ones working on Fallout and the Elder Scrolls right now. There are no major rumors of it being passed off or like some other studios being open to work on Fallout. We even recently had a rumor that another Xbox studio was working on some kind of Fallout project, but it was cancelled. So based off all of those considerations, and then this quote from Todd Howard, well, Todd Howard is seemingly in control of these franchises, to me it really seems like the current release cadence is here to stay. But Bethesda does have plans to start ramping up the content in between releases even more. I can imagine we're seeing more DLC. In that last year interview with Maddie, Todd Howard talked about that. And even right now with Starfield, we're seeing a longer support tail with DLC than we had for any of their previous seasons. This will also come in the form of paid mods, both from Bethesda, but also funding stuff from the community. And it seems like this is really Bethesda's strategy going forward. Still taking the time with major releases, having 5-year gaps potentially between them, but those 5 years in between being a lot more content rich. Either way though, here's some of the recent insights we've gotten from Todd Howard into the future of Bethesda and what's going on with some of their games. If you enjoyed, hit subscribe, because I do have a lot more content coming, particularly around Fallout.
Alright.
All returns. $150, all in. No surprises. Now this is taxes.
Welcome to Strike Gently. We sell woven blankets. We have over 80 different blanket designs to choose.
Hello everybody, hope you're having a fantastic day today. Thank you so much for checking out the video. Today, I wanted to do a part 2 to the best guns to use in 2026. You guys really seem to like the first video. There's a lot of good guns to use right now. Let's get into it here. Okay, so this is definitely some of the reasoning why I wanted to do this list, as well as that this rocket launcher wasn't on my first list. This weapon is absolutely awesome right now, guys. If you haven't tried the missile launcher, it's just absolutely destroying everything. It's kind of like my go-to to take out bigger enemies right now, as it is basically just one-shotting them. And yeah, just like I said, my go-to. It's really good for Scorch Beast as well. You can see if you do aim in on something, it will basically target it, as long as you have the right mods on, which I will show at the end here. And yeah, you can see you don't even have to be aimed at it. It'll follow it all the way around, do a backflip, and then swim at the Scorch Beast. And to get your hands on one, it is a little bit tricky to get the plan. There is a guaranteed reward upon completion of Key to the Pass. There is a low chance to get it from Personal Matters, but honestly, if you fight a lot of super mutants, you'll probably end up with a missile launcher eventually, especially ones that are like the boss enemy of the area. You can see if they have a missile launcher, you can always get one. If you're having trouble finding out another place to look at that Fourth Appliance here, you will have to go to the 4th floor. So I will link a video in the description that will help you get through the quest line if you're having trouble accessing the elevator or these rooms. It's because you need to complete that quest line. And we're going to go to the 4th level here, and we're going to go to the left here. I was a little bit turned around when I came in here. Haven't been in here in a while with my game on it. But yeah, there is a missile launcher over here, guys, and a little bit of if you want to do it. And this is the one that I'm using as well, in case you want to get similar results that I'm showing in the video. The 2-shot, absolutely awesome right now. Now, on to the Fixer. Now, this gun has always been good. I feel like it has been better, but I feel like it's a little overlooked right now. It's just really nice as a semi-automatic, like, sneak-type sniper build. That's kind of what I use it for if I just want to go around and snipe a little bit. It's just still, like, a great gun, and that sneak damage that it has is phenomenal. And you can see with the Fixer, too, it does have the extra sneaking speed and the 15% stealth and challenge. So this makes this a particular special weapon. And again, if you like sneaking around like I do and just, you know, killing super mutants without them knowing you're there, this may be the weapon for you. It is a lot of fun. To get this weapon, it can be a little bit tricky. I will link a video in the description going through this whole quest line, the Sheep Squatch ate my brother, which you can pretty much start at any train station just by going up to this poster. It's not a very hard quest to do. The final event is a little bit hard to do. You can get the plan for doing encrypted as well. The easiest way to get this weapon, honestly, if you don't have the plan for it, is to just ask somebody nicely who has the plan for it to just drop you. And that's one of the better things about this weapon. I love giving this weapon to beginner players. It's just a good
overall gun, especially with the special effects on it. And again, you can drop level 20s all the way up to level 50. So very good weapon for beginners. This is the weapon that I'm using again. 2-shot explosive is very nice right now. I've polished on there, seems to be working great. Now, on to the harpoon gun. I got a lot of comments about this gun on my last video I did there. And honestly, when I used it, I was quite surprised how good it was. This thing hits so hard. The magazine, I guess you would say, is a little bit small, but overall, this is a good gun to have on you.
Damn, I just missed all those fucking shots.
I really like doing the bounties or the headhunts or whatever you want to call it with this weapon, as it just seems to take out most of the enemies in 1 or 2 shots. Totally worth the reload, the amount of power that it's putting out. To get this weapon, we just have to go over to the White Springs Mall here, and we're going to be looking for this vendor here. It's a shopping mall vendor. It's his. And he will have the plan for the harpoon gun if you are looking. I couldn't really find a place where this would spawn or a good place to send you to spawn, but honestly, if you're looking to invest in these weapons, the plan is definitely the way to go. From the oil event, Colossal Problem, this is the one that I'm using right here. I got from the Colossal Problem, and you can change the legendary. I should have had this in my first video. This weapon is so nice. It's so cool. Had to have it in this list for sure. If you're using this thing, pretty much everything around you is just gonna die. Another great weapon for this like just overall great bristling enemies here. Speaking of the scorch beef, you can see just a couple of shots and it's pretty much gonna be crippled. It's gonna force it to land. This works really good on the scorch beef queen as well. Too, if you're having trouble to get her to land, the pepper chaser is like my go-to for getting the scorch beef queen to land. And then of course when they are down, nothing just
Sorry, bro. That shit sucks.
Everyone green team?
Ready? Yeah.
There is a lot. It feels like the kind of matchup where I'm gonna die almost every fight, but I think you still just win. I think he goes Swifties, lock it in drill. He's so fucking strong right now. Conversion?
The fuck, brother? Jesus. Ooh, fuck yeah.
Good smoke screen picture. Good game. Good game, Alright, we are back. We are locked in. I missed the first one. Don't let them in your head, Charles. You never want to hit the first one. Not never.
There was no coming back from death, and her parents could have the servants
Something
done.
tells me they might have a focus on conflict. That's fine. I'm just gonna play really safe for this one, I think. How you doing out there?
Ha. Checking my wine because of these. I was feeling a little tipsy earlier.
So you open the other bottle of wine?
No, baby. This is my Coke Zero.
Oh.
You were about to get so mad. He's a really good pop, you know?
Oh, he got ignited.
Coke Zero can't get enough of that.
The boy who lived.
Baby, you just gotta feel the burn. Stop trying to put it out. Just feel it.
I got very
Fuck that.
You eat hot shit, you gotta go to the back burner. Let it burn, baby.
good.
Sure, it's all the marinade.
Keep your wits about you.
Hello again, members. We've spotted
You know?
another nest of vermin congregating topside. Proceed to the designated extermination site and keep an eye on our lures, would you? That is all.
Signal detected. Activate additional signal sources to initiate extermination protocols. Activating targeting protocols. Please stand by. Error. Unrequested tube decompression detected. Immediate repair requested. Component bypass detected. Warning. Warning. Your systems blocked. Please perform immediate repairs. Users. Component signal lost. Recalibration requested. System orientation complete. Signal broadcast active. Target locked. Immediate evacuation required. Repeat. Please retreat to a safe distance immediately. Specified hostiles eliminated. Infestation cleared. Thank you for your participation.
Got no time. Find me at the left.
My games, handcrafted replications of the rarest plans and recipes. Every component and mechanism recreated precisely to a fraction of a hundredth of a millimeter.
Evening.
Tuesday? Tuesday? Or 10 to 7 tomorrow. Giggity.
Come in. This is Dodge. I've lost contact with the uplinks in this area. I'm trusting you to get that resolved. Signal speeds are down as well. Head out.
Jesus, fuck.
second uplink. But we're not done yet. Stay on. Dodge here. We've got uplinks that have gone dark. Get them operational. We need to know what we're dealing with out there. Looks like the signal repeater's cold too. Head there and repair it first. On the double team. Signal calibration started. Watch your back. You just kicked a hornet's nest. Signal calibration 1, complete. We need 2. Get over to the other. Double time. touch. Significant activity near your location. Head there and handle it. This is the place. Guns, sledgehammers, and whatever you got on you at the ready. Cause got 'em mad now. Take down that priority target ASAP. You've done us a great service. Ad Victorium. Dodge out.
All that work and I didn't get anything good.